Most people run biblical finance as a list of disconnected tactics. Tithe here, emergency fund there, pay off a card when the guilt gets loud enough. Scripture does not present it that way. It presents a household as a system, an order where each piece only works because the piece before it is already running. Here's what that system actually looks like when every part is assembled. Start with the sequence, because the sequence is the whole argument. Proverbs 3:9. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. First fruits is not a percentage instruction. It is a timing instruction. It tells you where giving sits in the order, not how much of it there is. That is position 1. Not because giving is the largest number in the budget, because whatever comes first defines everything downstream of it. Position 2 is the reserve. Genesis 41. Joseph proposes storing 1/5 of the harvest through 7 years of abundance before the famine arrives. Proverbs 6:6 makes the same point smaller. The ant stores in summer. Notice what both texts assume. The reserve is built during the good years. Nobody in either passage is building it during the crisis. Position 3 is debt. Proverbs 22:7. The borrower is slave to the lender. That is a description of a power relationship, not a moral verdict on the borrower. Debt does not make you wicked, it makes you owned. And it belongs at position 3 for one reason. Attacking debt before a reserve exists means the next surprise expense puts it straight back on the card. Position 4 is the corner of the field. Leviticus 19:9 instructs landowners not to harvest to the very edge, leaving the margin for those with nothing. The corner is left standing before the harvest is counted. It is not calculated from the surplus. It is removed before there is a surplus to calculate. Position 5 is the household beyond your household. 1 Timothy 5-8 says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives has denied the faith. Aging parents, a sibling in trouble. That obligation sits inside the system, not outside it as an emergency exception. Now here is what almost nobody says out loud about this. None of these 5 positions are about income. A household earning $50,000 can run all 5. A household earning $400,000 can run none of them. What separates them is not margin, it is order. The high earner with no reserve, no giving sequence, and revolving debt is not running the system faster. They are not running it at all. So, what does an assembled household actually look like in practice? Income arrives. The giving transfer executes first, automatically, before anything discretionary. The reserve transfer executes second, also automatically, also before anything discretionary. Debt payments run third, at a fixed amount, rather than whatever happens to be left. The benevolence margin is already removed, not calculated from what remains. And family obligations are budgeted as a standing line, not absorbed as a recurring surprise. 5 automated decisions, made once, running underneath every month. The action from this episode is not to build all 5 this week. It is to identify which position is missing and build only that one. If giving is happening but sits last in the sequence, move it first. That is the whole assignment. If there is no reserve, the reserve is next, regardless of what your debt balance is doing to your conscience. The system is not finished when it is impressive. It is finished when it runs without your attention. That is the entire framework this series has been building, piece by piece, for 41 episodes. Not 5 separate obligations competing for the same dollar. One ordered system where each position protects the one behind it. The next video takes the first position and goes deeper than we ever have. It is queued up right now.